This is the story of how a young man from humble beginnings transformed himself into the billionaire Gucci Master, only to have his criminal empire come crashing down around him. We'll take you inside Hushpuppi's audacious cons, like the daring $13 million heist that caught the attention of the FBI. You'll meet his network of accomplices, from Canadian money launderers to a high-ranking Nigerian police official. And you'll discover how his very public flaunting of ill-gotten riches became his downfall, as authorities used his own social media posts to build their case against him. From the cyber cafes of Lagos to the luxurious hotels of Dubai, join us for this unbelievable story of luxury, lies, and laundering at the heart of Hushpuppi's criminal empire. Welcome to Profit Predators Business Scams Unveiled, where the glossy facade of entrepreneurship meets its shadowy counterpart. In this series, we dive deep into the world of white-collar crime, unraveling the stories of ambition turned deception. From the boardrooms to the courtroom, we expose the mechanisms and minds behind the most notorious business scams. These are tales of greed, betrayal, and the pursuit of wealth at any cost. Stay with us as we reveal the true cost of these crimes, not just in dollars, but in trust and human impact. Your journey into the darker side of business starts now. Ramon Olorunwa Abbas, also known as Hushpuppi, Ray Hushpuppi, or Billionaire Gucci Master, was born on the 11th of October, 1982. His dad was a Muslim who drove taxis, and his mom, a Christian, sold bread. He leaned towards Islam, but his parents never forced him to pick between religions. He attended Command Children's School, as mentioned in an interview. Ramon grew up and was well known in the Olorunfunmi, Odo Iran, Ikore neighborhood in Oworonsoki, which is in the Kosofe local government, which is a poor coastal area located in the northeast of Lagos, Nigeria. Even though he was young, he was already a businessman. He searched through thrift stores and less affluent areas for branded clothes, then sold them to people in wealthier neighborhoods for a higher price. Ramon's family was barely getting by. They were really struggling. One of Ramon's sisters actually died of typhoid because their family couldn't afford her medical bills. The money he earned from reselling things wasn't enough for him to live on, so he also worked a side job at the cyber cafe located at the end of the street. Ramon was known as a Yahoo boy, which is a slang term for young Nigerians who use cyber cafes and free email addresses to run scams. He started with one of the most popular and easy cons called confidence scams. In these scams, a scammer talks to someone in chat rooms over email or through other means and builds a friendship. Sometimes they even pretend to fall in love. Once they've gained the person's trust, they trick the person into sending them money. On social media, there were countless targets known as MAGAs, which means gullible marks in local slang. This led to a high level of criminal creativity. Scams changed over time, from money order fraud to romance scams to BECs, thanks to both skilled scammers and a consistently corrupt government. Ramon started making some money and decided to rent a house on Ogunyomi Street. It's a rundown one-story house painted orange in a quiet, poor neighborhood. Ramon lived here in a one-bedroom apartment. By this time, he was gaining recognition as an experienced scammer. Around 2013, Ramon was about to switch from simple scams to more complex and profitable ones. He was hanging out with his childhood friend Sikiru Adekoya, also known as Pac, and other friends. They weren't using cyber cafes anymore. Instead, they were at a nice restaurant in Lagos. They no longer needed to pay for the internet by the hour because they all had smartphones and laptops. As technology got better, Ramon's scams got more advanced too. He went from pretending to be someone's boyfriend to pretending to be a whole business just to trick other businesses. They call it a BEC scam, short for business email compromise. Ramon acted like he worked for a real company, like a bank. Then he sends emails asking people to do transactions with him and tricks people into giving away their money. As a Yahoo boy on the rise, Ramon was ambitious and aimed to expand his criminal activities to other countries. Around 2014, Ramon departed from his residence and traveled to the Malaysian capital of Kuala Lumpur. During this period, there was a significant migration of young Yahoo boys from Nigeria to Malaysia, the US, the UK, and India. Pac, his childhood friend, mentioned that he went there to study. Once he settled down in Kuala Lumpur, Ramon transformed into Hushpuppi, using the Instagram handle he had claimed in 2012. A lot of his early photos were taken in a simple apartment kitchen, but he looked comfortable in front of the camera. The photos mostly showed him from head to toe. His smile, often with his mouth closed and his eyes shining, looked confident, ambitious, and a bit cunning. Soon, he was getting thousands of likes on each post, and his captions started to reflect his own version of the prosperity gospel. He shared bits of wisdom about living your best life and gave many lectures about how much progress he had made already and how others could do the same. During that time, he often had thoughts that showed some humility and gratitude. He was trying to find his audience and figure out his voice. His messages didn't explain how he was becoming wealthier. However, there might have been clues if you knew where to find them. In January 2015, the Versace store in Kuala Lumpur presented Hushpuppi and his friend, Samson Oyakunle, with gifts to honor them as the top customers of 2014. Of course, Hushpuppi shared the event on Instagram. He and Oyakunle unwrapped their gifts while Hushpuppi spoke about spending $20,000 at the store. Shortly after that, Oyakunle moved to Houston. Then in February 2017, federal authorities arrested Oyakunle and accused him of being involved in several BEC frauds. He admitted to opening bank accounts all over Houston to help with the scams alongside other people from outside the U.S. He got sentenced to 5 years in jail. At that point, Hushpuppi had already gone to Dubai. He had been staying there as his wealth increased, initially with another influencer known as Mamfa. Their Instagram posts were very similar. They both showed off luxury cars, designer clothes, and watches. In late 2016, their names were mentioned in the song Living Things by the Nigerian musician Nine Ice, which celebrated their extravagant lifestyle. As Hushpuppi became more famous, he also became more interested in online arguments, a surefire way for influencers to get more followers. It started with a disagreement in 2017 with the pop star Davido. Hushpuppi said that Davido didn't pay his bill at a nightclub in Lagos. But they quickly made up in a video posted on Davido's Snapchat, which made Hushpuppi even more well-known. After that, he alleged that musicians Fino and Ice Prince were wearing fake expensive watches. Fino responded, "We're not even on the same level, buddy. You're all about Gucci, but I'm all about my people." Many of Hushpuppi's rivals questioned where his money came from. Singer KC asked, "You don't have credibility, no known job, but you're attacking hardworking Nigerian musicians who earn their money honestly on social media?" He continued, "What's your job? What's your talent? How did you make your money? What brand do you represent?" He advised that Nigeria's Financial Crime Police, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission should pay increased attention. Ultimately, Hushpuppi's inclination for disagreements also wrecked his friendship with Mamfa. Mamfa alleged Hushpuppi had taken advantage of him when he came to Dubai. Mamfa claimed he had provided Hushpuppi with a place to stay and sponsored his visa for Dubai. He said in one post, "Even after all that, you still want to betray me by using my personal account for fraudulent activities and getting me sent to jail." He added, "Go help your taxi driver father and your bread seller mother instead of pretending on social media." Hushpuppi fired back, saying that Mamfa, whom he had treated like an older brother, had betrayed him. "You borrow my clothes for Instagram, but you're the first to accuse others of living a fake life on Instagram," he wrote. "I'd rather not have a real life if this one isn't genuine," he said. He also accused Mamfa of assisting Nigerian politicians in laundering money. As each story spread on gossip blogs, Hushpuppi's number of followers increased. He had become a role model for millions, showing off wealth. Back in his home country, he was almost a full-blown celebrity. In May 2017, he shared a picture of himself in a hot tub with a glass of wine, with the beautiful coast of the Greek island Santorini in the background. In a lengthy caption, he addressed the struggles faced by kids from underprivileged backgrounds, stating that he understands their challenges because he was once like them. He expressed solidarity with them, emphasizing that he represents underprivileged children from Nigeria, Lagos, and specific areas like Bariga and Oworonsoki. Hushpuppi brought friends from his old neighborhood to Dubai, including his childhood friend Pak, who had become a plumber and had lost his job in construction in Nigeria. Hushpuppi helped him and recommended that he come to the United Arab Emirates, where he managed real estate and could help him find work. Pac ended up living in Hushpuppi's 4-bedroom penthouse at the Palazzo Versace and occasionally appeared in his friend's social media posts as a wingman. On his own Instagram page, Pac hyped up Hushpuppi full-time, wearing a custom Team Hush tracksuit and expressing gratitude for what Hushpuppi had done for him. Both Hushpuppi and another influencer named Olalekan Jacob Ponley, also known as Mr. Woodbury, appeared in each other's social media posts. While Mr. Woodbury had fewer followers than Hushpuppi, he was gaining popularity. He was described as slimmer and taller than Hushpuppi, always wearing sunglasses and using a similar style for captions. In one post, he stood in front of a yellow Lamborghini with his head bowed. Hushpuppi seemed to be moving beyond simply buying flashy items and transitioning into the extravagant spending habits of the extremely wealthy. Brands began to notice Hushpuppi's influence, and stores started offering him and his friends special treatment, including extravagant birthday cakes, personalized shoes, and Rolls-Royce nameplates. Hushpuppi mentioned that he was once denied a French visa when attempting to leave Nigeria. However, now he was posting about being hosted at the Ritz Paris for Fashion Week as a VIP guest of Louis Vuitton, with all expenses covered. The U.S. government stated that in January 2019, Ramon got a message from Galeb Alamari, who was a Canadian online money mover. Alamari, also known as G, Backwood, and Big Boss online, was a 35-year-old man with a mustache who grew up in Ontario. He had been involved in cashing out BEC scams for many years, including a scam where a Canadian university lost $10 million in 2017. In Alamari's phone, Ramon's name was listed as Hush, and they conversed on Snapchat, where he went by the username Hushpuppi5. Alamari asked Ramon for 2 European bank accounts that could each receive 5 million euros, $6.1 million, without attracting attention. He mentioned the money would arrive on February 12. Ramon provided him with information for a Romanian bank account, claiming it could handle large sums of money. The payments were going to come from the Bank of Valletta plc in Malta, which is a commercial and investment bank with offices all over Europe. The bank had been hacked months earlier in a unique and ambitious scam similar to BEC, Business Email Compromise. According to reports from the Times of Malta, the hackers first broke into the French stock exchange regulator, Autorité des Marchés Financiers. Then, pretending to be French regulators, they sent phishing emails to the Bank of Valletta. When an employee fell for the trick and clicked on the email, the hackers gained access to the bank's secure payment systems, where they planned to send out a series of payments without being detected. In another legal case, the U.S. government accused the hackers of being operatives of the North Korean government, which the U.S. claimed has been involved in cybercrimes totaling $1.3 billion since 2014. These crimes included stealing over $1 billion from digital banks, creating the infamous ransomware WannaCry, and hacking Sony Pictures Entertainment. It's uncertain if Alamari knew the identity of his collaborators, but regardless, his job was to quickly move the stolen money around the world. He informed Ramon that the money should be withdrawn as soon as it arrived, as it could be taken back if the bank noticed the theft. He added that they should continue withdrawing if the bank didn't notice. Alamari reached out to Ramon again on February 1, now requesting 4 bank accounts for large sums of money to be ready by February 12. Later, this request was expanded to 6 accounts. Ramon provided details for a second account in Bulgaria on February 10 after Alamari's inquiry the day before. However, only one of the wire transfers went through on February 12, amounting to 500,000 euros to a Romanian bank account. This was later discovered by the Bank of Valletta, which noticed 13 million euros had been moved. They rapidly closed down all their computer systems and started urgently trying to get the money back. Later, the bank said they had managed to get most of it back. Despite the setback, Hushpuppi maintained his social media presence. On February 14, he posted a photo of himself in a Fendi jumpsuit, claiming he bought a new Bentley Bentayga for Valentine's Day, worth $160,000. The criminal complaint against Ramon revealed his lack of caution in communications, using his main Dubai cell number and easily traceable emails. Despite this, he continued to receive job offers. In April 2019, Alamari proposed a $300 million scheme from the UK involving fake payments from a Premier League team. It's uncertain if this targeted high-profile soccer transactions, but Ramon provided an account in Mexico for receiving payments. However, UK banks refused to pay into it. Later, Alaumeri vanished after success with the law firm Heist. He was caught by the FBI. Around the same time, Ramon's friend Mamfa was arrested in Nigeria for fraud and money laundering. Ramon refrained from gloating publicly and expressed empathy for those facing tough times. A few days later, Hushpuppi changed his Instagram bio from Billionaire Gucci Master to real estate developer. He and his associate Ponley, also known as Mr. Woodbury, were being investigated by the FBI's high-tech organized crime squad. They were monitored by the FBI and UAE authorities. One night in June 2020, police raided Ramon's apartment and arrested him, along with Ponley, Pak, and others. They were interrogated about Hushpuppi's activities and wealth sources. Pak claimed he didn't know about Hushpuppi's fraudulent activities and was released after questioning. Hushpuppi and Ponley were flown to the U.S., while the others faced the UAE justice system without charges. Ramon and Ponley were flown to Chicago, where Ponley remained facing trial. Ramon, after a preliminary hearing, was transferred to Los Angeles to face multiple charges of money laundering and wire fraud. Ramon was also accused of committing fraud in Nigeria, as he is also wanted by Nigeria's Financial Crime Police, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. A petition for his bail and the opportunity to reside with his girlfriend's uncle in Homewood, Illinois, was rejected due to concerns about his potential to skip court appearances. During Ramon's detention hearing, his attorney, Pisetsky, argued that his client did not pose a risk of fleeing because it would harm his reputation online. Prosecutors highlighted his substantial financial resources, strong connections to foreign nations, and absence of ties to the United States. On the 28th of July 2021, Ramon pleaded guilty to money laundering and also identified a deputy commissioner of police in Nigeria, Abba Kyari, as an accomplice in his $1.1 million scam deal. The next day, a court in the United States issued an FBI warrant to arrest Abba Kyari. Before his scheduled sentencing on the 19th of September 2022, Ramon wrote a personal letter to Judge Otis Wright detailing his source of wealth, criminal activities, and feelings of remorse. On the 19th of September 2022, Judge Otis Wright postponed Ramon's sentencing to the 3rd of November 2022 and then to the 7th of November. On the 7th of November 2022, Ramon received a sentence of over 11 years, 135 months. The court suggested that he should serve his time at a federal correctional institution, FCI, in Fort Dix, New Jersey, until April 2029. Thank you for joining us on Profit Predators Business Scams Unveiled. Today's journey through the intricate webs of deceit and ambition reminds us of the price of unbridled greed. As we conclude, remember, awareness and integrity are our best defenses in a world where profit can often precede principle. For more insights and stories that peel back the layers of the business world's darker side, subscribe and stay tuned. Together, we'll continue to share stories that shock and shape our marketplaces. Until next time, stay informed and always question the integrity behind the profits.